With the 10th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Cody Williams from the University of Colorado.
Coach Cody Williams, the Jazz pick at number 10.
I love it. Here again, you have he's 19, but he's been in a collegiate program. We all know his brother's story at Santa Clara. Nobody knew who he was, and we're all expecting the same thing from Cody. But he's got such a huge upside, and I just think it's a solid pick for Utah. I mean, he's a young man that could come in here and he'll compete the first day of practice. He's not going to be a starter on this team or anything of that nature. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's been in a college program where there's expectations, and he's met those expectations. There's toughness about him. He's got a brother in the league that can be a guide and a mentor to him. There's so many positive things that'll help him jump into this arena that's full of craziness, and he'll have a good friend and a brother there helping him.
I love Cody Williams. I mean, this was one of the players. When Danny Ainge, after the season ended, said there's some guys they like, but they're just not sure they're going to fall to number 10. I really think Cody Williams was the guy he was talking about. As soon as he said that was the first name. First 2 months of the season, every mock draft had Cody Williams going number 1 overall because he had such a great start at Colorado. He ends up with a wrist injury. He breaks his orbital bone. He ends up with an ankle injury. And because of those injuries, he just steadily fell down draft boards because he either wasn't playing or he wasn't producing when he was on the floor. He was wearing a mask. So he faced a lot of adversity, and he kind of just became the forgotten man. But I do think a lot of people need to remember, 2 months of the season, the college season, up until about mid-January, he was the number 1 overall pick, and not anyone was questioning it.
That's interesting. I did not know that. That's a great take. Great take.
If you guys would have told me at number 10 that they would have had the selection between Connect, Topic, and Williams, I would have told you you're crazy. I would have thought for sure 2 of those 3 would be off the board.
Yes.
But the Utah Jazz had a difficult decision in front of them. That's 3 really good players, good shooters, good options. And you had the choice of all 3, and that makes you understand why Danny Ainge stayed in this draft. Danny Ainge loves his draft picks, guys. He loves his draft picks, and I'm starting to wonder, are we going to see 3 picks again tonight? That's, I guess 2 today.
2 today, 1 tomorrow.
Another one tomorrow because they decided to extend this into a 2-day. But, guys, are we going to see all 3 picked again?
I would still be surprised, but I mean, they certainly made a pick at 10, and I'm surprised Cody Williams is around. I love this pick, Coach. I'm curious, you look at his measurables, he's maybe a little bit light. You put a little weight on him, but he's 6'8". He's long. He plays both sides of the ball. Do sometimes as a coach, do you just have to believe your eyes? You see it right in front of your face, and you go, okay, this guy's big, long, and super skilled.
I'll tell you what he has. He has a mentor who's a really good player in this league. Where is he going to get better value, better input? It's not going to be their parents. It's not going to be the Jazz. It's going to be his brother who's going to say, let me help you get through this. That's the thing I really love about it, is he immediately comes into this league. His head's not in the clouds. He's a mentor. He's going to help him. And Cody's been in a Division I program where there is development, and he wasn't there very long, but I think he was there 2 years, wasn't he?
1 year.
Just 1 year, okay. So the development piece probably hasn't been real significant, but having his brother, to me, is such a big deal for him. We know how athletic he is, and he has a big upside, and I'm thrilled that he's with the Jazz. I just like the fact that we get that toughness. Can't have enough toughness.
The Chicago Bulls are now on the clock at number 11, but if you're just joining us, the Jazz just selected Cody Williams of Colorado, number 10 in the NBA draft. And, Hans, you mentioned they had a choice between 3 really good players, and you get to, kind of take the one or take your pick. I'm with you. I'm really surprised that Williams was available for this.
Can't even believe it. I can't believe that all 3 of those guys. I wish that they had 10, 11, and 12 so that they could take all 3 of those guys and then throw them in a cage and see who comes out alive, because those are 3 really good basketball players. But the thing that I love about Cody Williams, and a lot of times when I'm reading draft takes, I'll read through the strengths, but I'll go to the weaknesses, and I'll say, okay, are the weaknesses they have listed fixable? And one of his biggest weaknesses was just his overall body strength. Yep. His ability to really push on another body or just be big and physical, just strong-wise. You can fix that.
Yes.
A couple of years in NBA development, and we can fix it.
What happens between 19 years old and 22 years old that is guaranteed to happen?
It's your fibers.
You're going to turn into a man. I don't know if you're going to learn to shoot. I don't know if you're going to learn to play defense. I know you're going to keep aging.
But the other thing that I loved about Cody Williams, because I love the transition game.
Right.
Anything where you can really get out of the court and move up the court and push the ball and score fast. I don't know if that's Will Harding's MO. I don't know how much he wants that, but it's one of my favorite things in the NBA. Cody Williams with Colorado could move the ball from point A to point B as good as anybody in the country. So that's another thing I'm really excited to see with the Utah Jazz.
Any concern, Coach, that Colorado maybe wasn't quite as dominant as a lot of people expected? Ben kind of laid out the tumultuousness of his health during the year, but any thought to that?
You know, I'm not worried about this young man. Everything that I've read about his maturity and about his what's the word I'm looking for? You can trust him. And I'll tell you what, that may not seem like a big thing, but the impact that these young people come in with agents, with parents, with wannabes, and everybody else that surrounds these young men,
handlers,
all the handlers, you need to know that you're surrounded by people that you can trust, especially a rookie like this, even though he's got a brother who will be a great mentor to him. But I've probably coached 8 or 10 guys that went into the league, and I watched some of them play for 14. I watched Rafer Alston play for 14 years. Skip to my Luke. I mean, I knew from the moment I met him, he's crazy, but I knew I could trust him,
Yeah.
And you
knew he was crazy.
And I take a kid like Hoffa, who was the 7th pick with Toronto, and he didn't have the maturity.
Yeah.
And what he didn't have, he wasn't surrounded by people that can help him. And a little bit on that. I mean, I have guilty feelings about that. I talked to Hoffa the other day in South America, and I kind of owed him an apology. I didn't get the right people. I was so trying to do my deal that I forgot about a kid that could barely speak English. He didn't have any connections, and he just trusted the Raptors in our organization. And, 5 years later, he's not playing anymore. He's in South America playing. So being surrounded by good people and having that safety net is really important. Otherwise, you can just stunt your whole growth, and you're out of the league in 3 or 4 years playing in Australia.
Let's reset a couple of things quickly about Cody Williams. First of all, he's a wing. I mean, I don't think we've even talked about what his position is. 6'8", 7'1" wingspan. So you talk about if you were to make an NBA player size and length in a lab, that's what you would make. I mean, that's where the league is trending towards. 12 points a game, just a hair under. 3 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Those are the questions. Is he ever going to rebound? How well does he move the ball? Shot unbelievably well, 55% from the floor, 41% from 3. He just didn't shoot a lot. He just didn't score a lot. I mean, that was kind of the issue, is not a lot of usage there. So you're hoping that those scale up a little bit for him. But along the intangibles, what I really like about Cody Williams is he was a top 10 recruit who chose to go to Colorado because he liked the situation.